Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today we're going to be continuing our By the Numbers series and taking a deep dive into the Cata population graph as well as the Season of Discovery and just sort of analyzing trends, what I expect to happen, and just what is surprising me about these numbers, and just sort of giving you my opinion based off of raw number data, which you guys have seemed to truly enjoy, and it gives me a chance to, use some of these skills I learned at college instead of just playing WoW a whole bunch. So anyway, before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So we are going to switch it right over here and start diving right into the numbers. And these numbers are actually very surprising and might be alarming for some of you guys. So we are here at the Cataclysm Classic TBC Wrath of the Lich King chart, and pretty much breaking it down, this is original 2019 launch. This dip right here is TBC launch. This dip right here is TBC into Wrath of the Lich King, and then this is the Cataclysm launch week. And so those are the key points, so you can sort of break down this chart and look at the numbers. So for the most part, we have Classic. It started about 200,000, a month into it, and it finished at about around that 200k mark, dipped for TBC, but TBC rating actually had a sharp increase, which was very surprising, and TBC kept going with it for a very long time, which was very cool to see. TBC net rating numbers were actually quite solid, and some of the highest numbers that we had seen compared to Classic, but really good. Then we got into Wrath of the Lich King, which obviously the most popular expansion, so it broke 600,000 people for that first week. This is when we started to see Icecrown Citadel, which was really awesome to see this sort of spike and have 400,000 people doing that. And then, ICC dragged its feet and went almost like 30 weeks, I think, by the end of it, and that's where this sharp decline is. So this sharp decline is very important, and I want you to remember these numbers, and this is week 24 to 30 of Icecrown Citadel. So people were full bis, people had killed Heroic Lich King, people done it with their 30% buff. They were just farming the content to farm the content because they really enjoyed it. Next, we go to Cataclysm. So this is where we really start to take a deep dive. And while Cata rating, it started off pretty strong once they got their first rate, 300,000. That's more than I thought it was. It peaked at 317,000 for 2-3 weeks, and then ever since then it has been on a steady decline, which is very alarming to go from 290k to 264k down to 230k to 211k and just keep going down to 271,000. Then as of this most recent week, 152,000 people doing Cataclysm. Now, what I think is most alarming about this trend, Ryan, is not only is it on a decline, it is on the fastest decline that we have seen from the entire Classic project. And that really worries me for Cataclysm, the future of, are they going to go to Mob Classic? Are they going to continue with Classic as a whole if Cata continues to decline? I know it's at a stale point, but when we compare it to Classic WoW, it never had that low of people, it never hit that rock bottom. The only time that we have seen this is on week 30 of ICC. That is the type of number we are close to, and that is really, really concerning to me to see that number be this low this quickly. It is not only declining, it is declining at twice the rate. So if you're someone who enjoys Cataclysm, that is something to be wary of. Now, I will say they did announce that they will be doing Firelands PTR and sort of testing the daily quest, getting that stuff going. So Firelands is on the near future, and I think Firelands was the best raid of the Cataclysm expansion, so maybe we will see Firelands take hold. But regardless of what version of WoW you're playing, if you're a Classic player, I know Cata kind of breaks away from Classic and it's not even Like, people have that original trilogy of classic TBC Wrath as classic WoW in their minds, and Cata had great successes at launch, but is sharply falling down. But Cataclysm being successful is important for every single classic player that wants to see a classic plus, because the way we get classic plus is by having popular classic games. And if, one of them dies off, then I think that might limit their willingness to try Classic Plus. But anyway, that's my analysis of Cataclysm. Let's go over to Season of Discovery. So as you guys know, these dips are SoD phases. So this is when Phase 2 launched, this is when Phase 3 launched, and this is when Phase 4 launched right here. So as we can see, SoD came out of the gates incredibly popular, almost reaching 500,000 people rating at its peak times. Very awesome to see that. Then we go here, Phase 2, also quite popular, 327,000 people doing it at its peak. I find it really interesting that SoD peaks like 3 weeks in to a phase, like 3 or 4 is where it has hit its peak every time, and that is actually held true even here in Phase 4. So then we come here to Phase 3, we have Sunken Temple. Now Sunken Temple made it 20-man rating and a lot harder, and then Phase 3 was dragged on for so long. We hit an all-time low of 20,000 raiders on the Phase 4 launch week, which is really sad to see. However, this is where I give SoD some incredible props, is the resurrection. If we look at these past 8 weeks here, SoD doubled from 20k to 40k, then 40k to almost to 75,000, then it went up to 80,000, 83k, 88k, 88k again, and then it fell off by about 4,000 players at 85,000. So SoD has held strong at that 85-ish thousand mark for the entirety of Molten Core being out. This is right when MC released, and so we are seeing it stay solid, which is really good, and it gives me a lot of hope for SoD. Obviously, I play SoD way more than I ever played Cataclysm. I love SoD. I truly enjoy it. I think SoD is the future, but you cannot deny that this trend line is very powerful, and it shows a complete uptrend and resurrection of Season of Discovery. We've also gotten a lot about Phase 5 as of late, and BWL and ZG incoming, so they're keeping that momentum, and they're keeping it going strong. I could see maybe it fall down a little bit, but depending when we get Phase 5, we could see it go even higher with BWL and ZG, and maybe break that 100,000 mark that we have not seen for a very long time. We have not seen that since May. And that would be really cool to see SoD be that popular again. Two things that I think will help make this happen are the mega servers and Phase 5. People really do like CG and BWL. It allows people a lot of diversity and flexibility. We will also see that people are, we're getting flex rating too, essentially. Not flex, but you can have 20 to 40 people in for BWL, and you can have 10 to 20 people in for ZG. So that variety allows a lot of people to get in there. And what I don't know is, while these numbers are just people that are rating, we don't have a raw player base count or something like that. Only Blizzard knows those numbers. We do see the ability. We do not know if this counts those people. So, like, I know that if you have 21 people in Oni, Azurgos, or Kazakh right now, it invalidates your logs, so it makes it really hard to see if those numbers actually count or not. I would like to think they do, but that could be a very big talking point with when we see ZG and BWL coming in the future. But anyway, that is my stat breakdown. I am really hopeful for SoD's future. I don't think SoD will ever get to 500,000 again like we saw at its peak. However, I do see SoD continuing to maintain around 100,000 players, and going into Phase 5, I'm really hopeful for it. I think Phase 5 has a lot coming that'll make a lot of players happy and get out there and keep blasting. The only concerns with these graphs is to note that it is rating players only, as well as alt count. So, like, if you're someone like me who raids MC on a mage and a druid, I count as 2 for that number. but not everyone does that. It's definitely a smaller population than you think, as well as for every person that there's 2 raiding, there's also that gamer dad who doesn't raid every week, especially when we're looking at the classic project. So that's also a thing to keep in mind for people logging in. And you know, I wish I had real numbers. I wish I could see the true numbers. Maybe Agrand will hook me up one day so I could do an awesome breakdown video, but he's probably not allowed to. But anyway, guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, where you think these are headed. But right now, the biggest prediction I have for you guys is in 3 weeks' time, there will be more people playing SoD than Cataclysm if these trends hold. And so I'll leave you guys with that prediction. You guys can, you know, think what you want about it. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.